I'm not legally responsible for anything that happens ever. You may have noticed that I renamed my channel. That's because I haven't done cooking in quite a while. The reason that my channel is called this is because, I have a back problem. So that's the back problem part, but, what about the ghoul part? Well, you see, I'm tall and thin, and that's what a ghoul is. Anyway, stairs. They are terrible. Why? Because I didn't invent them. So we're gonna get some alternative ways of, going downhill or uphill, whatever you decide on. I'm gonna teach you how to do it. First up, we've got about the simplest one out of all of them, ladders. Why? Because they take up far less space than stairs. Look at this really cool diagram I draw. You see, that's the stairs, in case you couldn't tell, and this is the ladder. Now you see right here, this is how much space stairs take up to go down. That's a lot of space. Now look at ladders, that's way less space. And I mean, I haven't drawn a table or anything, but I can tell you this is less space than this, because this is small, this is big. And in this case, we want it to not be big. Not in terms of, graphics cards. Also, ladders are way more cost effective. You just go like, go down to Target, and then ladder, thank you very much for the ladder. But with stairs, they have to be built into the house. And that is not good. You know why? Because you are giving into capitalist demands. And you are definitely bypassing it by going to a store and buying a ladder instead of buying stairs. Also, back to my quirky diagram, you see, like, all this space, that could be used for something. I accidentally cut my arm on a whiteboard. Now, that space could be used for something, but it can't, because that is stairs, and that is taking up room. But with ladders, look at how much space there is. That's a lot of space. And with ladders, if you want, you can make it so your ladder is portable, and you can use it to go on your house or below your house, depending on the architecture of your house, and also the landscape. Now, that sounds like a great deal, right? Well, what if I told you that you can't pick up stairs and move them? I know, it's crazy, but that is how the world works, and you need to grab your sledgehammer and just destroy your stairs, because we need to join the movement of anti-stairs. Join the anti-stair society today. It's funny because that is a word. And overall, the stairs are probably the best and easiest method. However, if you are a super cool person, you're going to use my other methods. Now, this next method that I'm going to show you is very interesting indeed. You basically take a slide, the swirly swirl, and then you're at a different level. But then, what if someone goes up the slide? Hang on, I should probably explain what I'm talking about. So, you put in a slide and have it curl, and that way you can just go down the slide, and then you take up less space, because you are lying down when you are going down it, and therefore you are taking up less space. But, how do you go up it? Well, for that, you use a ladder. Now, I know what you're thinking. You already said ladder. I don't care. That's how you go up, and slides are how you go down, like chutes and ladders. But what if someone is coming down the slide while someone's going up? Well, you see, I'm going to show you my diagram as to how we prevent these kinds of things from happening. And now that I'm finished with my diagram, I can finally show you my ingenious invention. So basically, this is obviously the slide, and let's say that for the sake of this example, the slide is straight. It obviously wouldn't be a straight slide as you go down it, because that would take up about the same amount of space as stairs. But for the sake of drawing it, it's straight. Now, a person is coming up the slide, you can see by my unholy drawing, and then a person is going down the slide. Now, as that person goes down the slide, they are going to be able to go down the slide by bumping into these little traps. And as they bump into them from going down, they are going to make the spikes come down, and they will be able to pass by. But if a person is going down the slide and they make it fall on this person, they die. So it's very efficient in that no one will go up the slide. They'll die from the spikes. One of my favorite of these inventions that I've created is called the water tube. And the way that the water tube works is, you have a tube, you fill it with water. Someone goes down the tube, someone comes out. That doesn't make sense? Let me show you. So the first thing that you do is enter through the top right here. You go blah, and then you go swim down, blah, and then you open this airlock door, and then you enter the airlock, close the airlock, and then have this little drain thingy right here bring the water up through a pump or some kind, and then it puts the water back into the tube. And then once all the water's out, you open this airlock door, and then you're there, and then you do the same thing to go up, except you have to swim up. You open the airlock and then close this door and then open the other one, and then you go up and then out. It's very simple. All you need is an airlock and a giant tank of water. Also, something to hold the water. It's expensive, but it is very cool. Our next lovely contraption is way more affordable than the last one because all you need is a tarp and some cables or just string. You can use string if you want. String is perfectly acceptable for this model of stairs, as long as your life is too. Now, what you're gonna have to do is set up the tarp and have it go down like it's a slide or like it's a roof. You know how roofs go down and not straight because then it collects water. So this right here is the tarp. You can tell because it is slightly curved. And these thinner lines, I was going to use red marker over here, but it sort of spilled a bit. I'm going to be using thin black marker for the string or cable. It's being held up to the ceiling. You better have a ceiling for this, otherwise install a ceiling. Anyway, back to the actual factual evidence. These are the 2 levels that you're going to be traversing between. You start at this level, and then you go down and you roll like, a rolly thing that is going downhill. You roll and then you get to the bottom. And then to go up, you simply climb back up. Now, obviously, yes, the tarp isn't indestructible, but are stairs indestructible? No? Okay, then, stop talking then. Your point is wrong. If you are saying that tarp are indestructible, not. You ever see those things where they're like climbing up a blanket or some kind? There are carnival games for it, I think. Now, one of my personal favorites of this series of things that you can use instead of normal stairs, like a normal functioning human being with a normal brain, is rock climbing, because it's fun and it's like, oh, I have an indoor rock gym, because you do, and you're climbing it. Now, I obviously don't need to draw this because you already know what a rock gym is. You climb the rocks and then you get to the thing, but instead of coming down, you're at a different level. But it's the same if you go down and you climb down the rocks and you don't use a harness because unless you're traversing many levels, you're not going to need it. And this is especially good for parking garages because people go down the stairs all the time, but people never go down rock climbing gyms. And another thing that you can do is just jump into water. You just set up a little kiddie pool or a full-size pool and you put it into a small area where your stairs would be. To go down a level, you just jump in, and to go up a level, you just jump out. I'm going to draw a diagram for this, even though I literally explained that as simply as I possibly could. This is floor 1. Where you are, and this is floor 2, where you are not. In order to get to the floor that you are not on, you need to jump on in. Get it? Because that's the thing I said a while ago, and in the film industry that's what we call a callback or payoff, which the CW never does. And for climbing up the area, you can either use one of my ideas, the ladder, where you climb up a ladder, or you can just use the rock gym. I personally prefer the rock gym because I was going to make a video essay on why you should replace your stairs with ladders. However, I have come to realize that rock climbing gym equipment is the superior way to go. It's my personal favorite, but I'm still going to show you the rest of the methods. Because, we all have different opinions, and you're welcome to have your own different opinions. Unless you like stairs, which, why would you do that? Why would you do it? Have you ever heard of a fire pole? You see, it is a pole made out of fire. Haha, I sure am going to get a lot of Twitch clips on that funny joke. But basically, a fire ladder is not a ladder on fire. That's also not a ladder, it's a pole. You slide down it, and then you are there. Fire poles are good for going down, but what about getting up? Well, I have a solution for that. Behold, the very twisty fire pole. And you would think, that's not a fire pole. Well, you'd basically turn a ladder into a pole, and then you sort of twist it like a spiral. And that's what this is. It's a spiral, but it's not in 3D, because I can't draw in 3D. So instead of going down it in a straight line, you can just grab onto the sides and then go down it in a twist, like but it makes it easier to climb up it. You don't have to use as much force because you can just grab onto the sides and then go up. It's not the fastest, but also it's not the least efficient. In this day and age, we have robots. Use them. For this method, we are going to use a robot instead of you to be downstairs or upstairs. So we have you, the person, the human being, and then down here we have the robot. Those are the legs, these are the arms, and that's the head. What you do is you go with your computer, beep boop 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 boop, beep beep beep, that's your computer, and a beep 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 boop boop boop, and then you control the robot. It goes that way and that way. It does everything that you would need to do downstairs, but you are upstairs. And that way, instead of having a stupid staircase, you can get rid of your staircase altogether, because you are never going to have a need to go downstairs or traverse levels. Stay in your house all day, and not just in your house, but just stay in one level. And if you ever need something that is downstairs to go upstairs, just have your robot throw it up to you through the floor, and then you have a broken floor. Fix the floor with your wood. Recently, scientists have been able to have a vacuum chamber that has removed all the oxygen, and that has reduced gravity in that chamber so immensely that it made two things fall at the same time. I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but basically you go, it's a space simulator. Well, why don't we have that at homes? What we are doing in this example is effectively putting a person into the chamber, and since gravity isn't nullified yet, we can maybe give them some handlebars right here to make it so they don't fall, because that would be inconsiderate and could potentially break their legs as well as other body parts. And then we close the hatch right here, that's a hatch, and then we have a big fan, I could have drawn one of my fans, but I don't have any, so I don't know how to draw them. And then the big fan sucks out all the oxygen, and then boom, you have no oxygen in the chamber, and that makes it so gravity doesn't exist. You can fall slowly. Also, hold your breath, because you don't want to lose that, because that would cause gravity to reoccur. And maybe bring an oxygen mask, so you can be like, funny Bane with sound effect. Look at me, guys, I am Bane. You wouldn't get it. And then you can slowly fall, and then once you get to the bottom, you can go beep beep boop, open hatch, and then you go down, and then you are there. And to go up, same thing. You open the chamber, you climb in, close the hatch, and then beep beep boop, drain fan, and then you can fly up like bird. And then you are there, open hatch, beep beep boop, climb out. Done the thing. Now that I think about it, this is actually way cooler, because then you can just throw like some big thing like a couch in there, and you can just lift it up, and oh my god. So okay, this is going to call for some additional research. You have a couch. This is a couch. You see, you put it in here. Now, ordinarily, couches are very heavy, but then if you put it in here and then nullify gravity, then it becomes a very light couch. So you can bring it with you up, and then you don't even have to bring it yourself, because it's just the couch. You can have a ladder. You can have a ladder here, and then you can climb up the ladder, and then you send the couch up, and then you climb the ladder, and then once it gets there, you open the hatch and take the couch out. But and then. Oh, no, but then the couch would fall, right? Because it doesn't have handles. Well, you see, you expand it. You expand it, and then, so it's like this. And then you send out the couch, and then it gets to here, so when you open the hatch and oxygen is restored, it doesn't fall down, it just falls onto the platform. And then you've got, because of that, we've also got to remove this and put a different platform here. Oh my god. I have made a scientific breakthrough. You probably can't understand, but basically, you know the thing where it's like, oh, we're gonna remove all the weight from this to make it easier, science. Well, this is real. We have made it real. Okay, since I've basically blown my brain, like physically, I think I felt a couple synapses just break. I mean, I feel them breaking every day, no matter what I do, but, you know, I felt more today because of my breakthrough. So we're going to stick to something simple. Have you ever seen a mining thing or a video game where there is a pulley mine elevator platform and it's supported on rope and it only brings materials and not people? Well, sometimes they bring people, but you get the point. Well, now we just do that. It's a pulley and it's an elevator. So what we have right here is a platform and rope and a pulley. That's a pulley, by the way, in case you can tell by my artistic abilities. And that's a rope going down. So let's say you're up here. You need to use your extendy pole, sort of like a hook. You pull it and then bring the rope there so that you're able to pull this up. And then once it's there, you jump on it, but you hold the rope. And you use your hooky thing. By the way, for this you need your other hooky thing to grab that, because then you're grabbing the rope, and then that you will fall, and that will not be good. You grab it, pull it, and then you grab this so that you do not fall when you step off of this platform, because that would be like holding a rope and then falling when the rope is not connected to anything. That's what it's like. You grab this and then you slowly let it go up, and then that will cause you to go down. And it's much easier if you're at the bottom, because then you can just grab this and pull up, and then you go up. And it can also be used to transport stuff like couch or TV, big item, and then you bring it up and then you put it there. Yay! My last idea for transporting between levels is a parachute and fan. Obviously there's a whole like, oh, parachute and then drop, but then that no work because of a lack of time for the parachute to catch air. Well, that's not going to be a problem. So this is a big fan. I really hope that since I'm using a big fan in this, I don't cause my brain to rupture like last time. And this is you with a parachute. You're on this level, you jump off, and then the fan turns on and it blows air up, and then your parachute catches the air faster because it's being blown into the parachute, and then you fall slower. You won't like really glide down, you're just falling slow enough that it won't break your legs. And then you're there. You have to have a big cage on the fan so that it doesn't blend you like a fan does. And now the fan is imprisoned. And for the going up, you do the same thing. Oh god. You for going up, you use the parachute and you turn on the fan and have it go on big power, and then you go up, but then you use a couch and you put a parachute on that, and it goes up as well, and you catch it with your grabby hook. I'm not going to look into that idea further. Research and development department, if we can get some more looking into this, that would be appreciated, because I don't want to. And that is the end of this video, and this is the start of my new style of video where I don't cook. Although I'll sometimes cook. I am thinking of starting a sort of podcast where we cook, but also we have a podcast. It's not going to be like the thing where it's like, oh, you've got to have a quirky thing that is limiting you, ahaha. It's just going to be a normal podcast, and we just talk and we cook random things. Again, this is purely an idea that I had. There is no plan to start it yet, and it would probably cost a lot of money miking each person and getting the ingredients. But if you want it, I guess say so, because I want to try and start a Patreon to get some money, but I don't know how, and also I can't because I don't have a credit card for whatever reason. But basically, if you want to see it, then say so. I am a ghoul with a back problem. Subscribe, share. That's about it. Bye bye.